How's it going, Crusaders? Welcome back to another Bible study. As I said before we get started, I'll do a little update on how handing out the Bibles went today. I got there about 9, left about 2:30ish, maybe a little bit before that. A very slow day. I did hand out 15 Bibles, which doesn't seem like much, but every single one that I handed out felt like I was giving out 100. I got to pray with a lot of different people. I even got some donations. God was definitely there today, and I studying the disciples and stuff like that. I've said these prayers in the past, but and it's a little personal, but I told God, like, multiple times too, not recently, but I definitely have in the past, that if something were to ever happen to me on a physical point, I literally said the words, like, if somebody put a gun to my head and asked if I believed in Jesus, and if I said yes, they'd pull the trigger. I said I would do it with a smile on my face. That's the type of person I am. That is the strength of the belief that I have when it comes to Jesus Christ. And 20 minutes before I was leaving today, I went to a couple different spots. I only took a couple pictures today. I didn't take a picture of every single spot that I set up at today. I didn't want to spend a lot of time on my phone. I wanted to be present in the moment. But the last 20 minutes that I was there, I set up at this one spot, and at one spot I'd be standing by my cart with the Bibles, and at another spot I'd sit down probably 10 feet from my wagon and just let people pick up Bibles if they wanted to. Didn't want to force anything, didn't want to make people awkward or anything of the sort. I know I look like the type of person you don't really want to come up to covered in tattoos and things of that sort. I know who I am. I know what people see when they see me. So, I take that into consideration too. I don't want to scare anybody away. So like I said, about 20 minutes before I left, I was sitting near my cart. One person came up and tried to steal my jacket. I had to tell him that only the Bibles were free, not my jacket. But anyways, there was this guy who sat down probably 10 feet this way was my cart, but probably 10 feet this way. In between us, there was a walkway where people could come and go and stuff like that. So on the other side of that walkway, there was this guy who sat down, and just by me judging by his looks, he didn't look like a very friendly person. Anyways, I seen him pull out his phone, and he started recording my wagon and talking about how stupid it was that somebody would try to give out Bibles for free. What a joke it was me doing there. He wasn't saying it directly towards me. And that's one of the things that I prayed about this morning, was, like, if something like this happened, that I would bite my tongue, turn the other cheek like we're supposed to do, and let him make his decisions and let him do what he's going to do. Now, if he would have physically touched me or got in my face or anything of that sort, it probably would have went different. But even in that moment, I was praying to God, like, God, let you take control of the situation. I don't want Christian to come out. I want you to be here. So he's doing that, and then he pulls out a knife, and he's like acting like he's going to tear up my wagon or tear up the Bible or something like that. But once again, I didn't get up. I didn't do anything. I didn't say anything. I was just going to let him make his own decisions. I could have easily called the police. I could have easily got up. Christian could have easily came out and done what he wanted to do, say what he wanted to say. But, nothing happened. All he did was make a little video. He was calling his friends, talking about how dumb it was that I would give away Bibles for free, and just bashing God. And, I expected something like that. So it wasn't really a surprise. But when him pulling out the knife and acting like he was going to do something, I've had guns pulled on me. I've had knives pulled on me in the past, so it's honestly nothing new. But today it was a little different because it was going against God, and thank God he didn't do anything. He was just acting like he was going to do something. So thankfully he didn't act on what he was acting on doing. But anyways, guys, that was just a little update today. Like I said, we only gave away 15 Bibles, but guys, that is 15 people, and I mean that's a blessing. I don't care if it was one person. For the first hour, I didn't give away a single Bible. For the second hour, I gave away 3, and it just kept building up throughout the day. And 15 Bibles to hand out, it's a lot different than just dropping Bibles off at some place. I'm going out there, I'm interacting with people, I'm praying with people, I'm talking to people, and 15 people, that's still a lot of people, and I'm very proud of what God accomplished today. I was just the middleman, handing out his word, and hopefully letting people know him that didn't know him, and I'm happy with today. That's all I gotta say. So, guys, let's go ahead and get into the Bible study. As I said, it's not really a Bible study. We're just going over the verse today. That's why I wanted to do this update on the Bible study. So, guys, we're checking out Genesis 1:13, the third day, part 5. Starting off with the King James Version always. And the evening and the morning were the third day. The CSB, evening came and then morning, the third day. Now, the NIV and the ESV agree with each other on this translation right here, which says, and there was evening and there was morning, the third day. The NASB, there was evening and there was morning, a third day. The AMP, there was evening and there was morning, a third day. The NLT, and evening passed and morning came, marking the third day. The NKJV, so the evening and the morning were the third day. So, guys, that's why there wasn't really a Bible study today. It was just summing up what we've been going over in these last couple of videos, talking about the third day. So that is that, and the Bible verse of the week, which comes from, once again, Psalms. We're checking out Psalms and the Bible studies I do on Wednesdays at church. This right here is not the only Bible study I do. I do a Bible study at church on Wednesdays too, like I've said, and we're in Psalms right now, so another coincidence that we're checking out Psalms. But Psalms 9 through 10. The Lord is a stronghold for the oppressed, a stronghold in times of trouble. And those who know your name put their trust in you. For you, O Lord, have not forsaken those who seek you. And with that being said, I know God was out there with me every single second of today. And that's all that matters, guys. So my question for the Crusaders of the week. What is one way you saw God working today? For me, it's everything that I just talked about with you guys. As I said, he was with me every second of today, and I prayed a lot today that he would guide my words, my thoughts, my feelings, and especially my actions on today, guys. So, as I always say, you don't have to answer this in the comments, just answer it to yourself. This is just something that I want you guys thinking about that goes along with the Bible verse of the week. I'll post a couple pictures I took. I really only took 2 pictures. I was set up at probably 5 different spots. I probably should have took a picture of every spot I was at just for memory sake, but I did take 2 pictures. I'll post those, I don't know, probably tomorrow. But yeah, guys, that's it for today. That was the Bible study. That was the update for the Wagon Wheel Worship. So we got 15 more Bibles out. I might even post the pictures today after I post this. Who knows? But Crusaders, that's all I got for today. As always, the shirts are sold out. I still haven't posted my Venmo yet. I will do that momentarily. Got a lot of stuff I gotta catch up on But God's really working with this ministry, with this page, with you, Crusaders, and just me in general. And, you know, guys, I'm not just saying this either. The more that you involve God in everything that you do, your marriage, your work, your hobbies, everything, the more your light's going to shine. And I promise you that, Crusaders. So that's all I got today, guys. I will catch you all Wednesday for the question of the week. Thanks, Crusaders.